Welcome to your weekly Dose of Mayhem, the show where we don't follow the CAD follows us.
And on today's episode of Weekly Dose of Mayhem, we're going to be talking about the FRC season, which we've just started. It is pre-season right now, but there's a lot of exciting stuff going on. So why don't we start off with how our meetings are going so far for FRC?
Last Tuesday.
Is this a bit?
Is it?
Continue.
Last Tuesday, we had our first FRC meeting, and we did a lot of icebreakers and such, and meeting each other, because we got a couple new kids, a lot of returning kids, so we did a lot of icebreakers, and then for the first half of the meeting, we did that upstairs while the FRL kids were down in the lab, and then once the FRL kids were gone, we came on down, and we dumped out a bunch of unsorted screws, nuts, bolts, and other assortments of stuff like that, and sorted them. And then also started some tool trainings.
Yeah, the sorting happened over 2 days, and like the situation is basically before the season, we just had like huge plastic bins of just like random assortments of metal tidbits, and we had to take those and like, you know, take them and, like, these are the 8s, these are the 4s, these are the 10s, and we had to like split up into 4 tables and put them into the boxes and the like carousels on the table, and we probably saved, I don't, what was his estimate? Like $600?
$600?
Hundreds of dollars.
By resorting that?
Yeah, because 1, you know, we don't let them go to waste, and 2, they've gotten more expensive. I've been told, so
they
that's
have
good.
gotten more expensive because COVID and supply chains and whatever.
Yeah.
Same reason why wood's so expensive. Anyway, so we did that on Tuesday, and for the first half of Thursday, which was our second meeting, we did more training. Personally, I was sorting the Versaplanetary equipment because it was kind of unsorted in a pile. And now it's sorted in a box.
Yeah. Hopefully we can make stuff not completely unorganized and make it throughout the season without just completely reverting to back what we had before.
Very true.
So
also on Thursday we did some cool trainings for the new kids. So we split up into the very broad teams of programming and mechanical. And then programming went off with Anthony, who's one of the co-captains you met last week, and Mr. Kitty, who's a programming mentor, and they talked about some programming. And then the mechanical team split up into 2 groups, those who were completely new, and specifically the CAD, because we were doing some CAD trainings. So those who were completely new to CAD, they went off with Mr. Hiller and did the basic CAD stopwatch with a caliper training. And then I took some of the kids who have CAD'd a lot before, and I took them off to the other side of the lab, and we did we recreated some robot parts purely without using sketches or anything, just using dimensions and what was actually in front of us. So we recreated some polycub pieces of robots to do some training on with that, and that's how our first 2 meetings of FRC went.
yeah, so you did, I know, like, Mr. Hiller probably just took, you know, the people and just told them, like, here's how you do a sketch, here's how you extrude.
They were learning
like
the
that.
basics.
Yeah, very basic stuff.
Also
so
getting their account set up.
Yes. And then you, I guess you would focus on, like configurable parts, assemblies, mating features, and the, like, sheet feature script for polycarb.
So we didn't get as far as assemblies and configurable stuff yet, but we did do some feature script stuff. There's a difference between CADing something like kind of 3D, or 3D like a stopwatch, and something relatively flat like a polycub piece, because when you especially in Onshape, you can draw the rest of your, so like if you're making a polycub piece for an intake, you can draw the entire intake system and then extrude the polycubs after the fact, which is the best way I can explain that. So we did a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, and then over on the programming side, we mainly talked about like our strategy for how we're going to, because programming, as you said, it's like a broad
Yeah.
like topic. So we're thinking about splitting it up into like robot programming, which is like, you know, the Java, the WipiLib, and then website programming, which is going to be not only like our website, but also like the scouting and like pit scouting tools that we use, which are all web-based, and then the data programming team or the data analysis team, which takes the data from scouting and it just like we do predictions and we do like graphs and stuff, and we'll talk more about that in the weeks to come. But that's all very exciting from the programming side. So in general, our plan for the preseason is over the next couple of weeks before kickoff, we want to get all of our new members and returning members up to speed with tools, with safety. We're going to do a lot of general quizzes on like FIRST and how to be safe in the lab and robotics in general. And we're going to be continuing with all of this training stuff, and hopefully we'll have a very experienced team to tackle the new game.
Yep, pretty standard preseason stuff. We only have actually 6 meetings left before kickoff. Want to talk about game predictions again?
No.
Because it's always funny.
Say the same stuff every time.
It's gonna be a water game.
That it will be.
It's gonna be a water game.
Well, we can talk about game predictions in the next interview. You want to talk about that?
Very big interview coming up. We won't tell you any more than that. Tate, you'll be happy. Let's shout out Tate. Big interview coming up.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Maybe not next episode. Maybe next episode. Maybe not. Who knows? I don't know.
Maybe.
Hopefully. Oh yeah. Probably. Good thing to mention. There probably won't be an episode next week because we are off from school.
Yes.
And nothing will happen because we're off from school. So probably no episode next Friday.
Unfortunately, we are breaking the streak. That does.
I mean, we could do an episode. We just wouldn't talk about much.
That's fair. We'll see.
Probably
we have a whole week to think about it.
We do.
So that's FRC. One thing I want to show off today is something that me and Nate have been working on, which is a really cool addition to our website, which we talked about in episode 8. Because what we've done is, and you can do this for yourself, but we'll give a demo right now, is there is now a live, or not live, but an interactive 3D map of the whole lab as like a tour that you can give yourself to see where we do all the cool things we do. And I think I can pull that up right now.
I've got it pulled up. So before robotics on Tuesday, me and Hamid spent some time taking some images to get a full 3D map of the lab so that we can give ourselves a tour. And I guess that's something we haven't really talked about on the podcast. For those who've never been in our lab, we're gonna do a little lab tour.
Yes. All right. So you're gonna just, I guess follow along on your screen, but I'm going to do a transition. There we go, to the website. And okay, so this is the website. We've got our Instagram posts about the podcast up in the corner here. So this is something fun that you can explore, but we're going to just have a look at this really cool 3D map, and you can see it zooms in, and this is the entrance. So this is very similar.
First thing you see is Mr. Coburn jump scare.
Yes, you have that. That's a little Easter egg. But yeah, so this is very similar to Google Maps, so it's quite, intuitive. But you can see our nice FRC awards, including the 2 of the 3 that we won last year, which was fun.
When we triple bannered at TVR!
That was crazy. I wasn't here for that. I was
also not at that event.
I was in another country. And so we have our FTC awards, FLL, and Science Olympiad, and some other old ones. That's cool. Those bottles
We also have the collages from every FTC year.
Oh, yes. I should show those.
Yeah.
So yeah, every year for FTC, we just make a collage so you can see Power Play, whatever one that was, Skystone.
Fake Frenzy, I think that's, I don't know,
Yeah,
2020's
the
cameras.
glare from the lights blocking it a little bit. But anyways,
Skystone, Rover Ruckus, Relic Recovery, standard stuff. Let's head into the lab!
let's head in. So when you enter the lab, first thing that you'll see is the whiteboard on the left. This is what we've been looking at to tell you about the dates. And then you'll see also this TV, which hopefully we're going to get hooked up soon to display some cool little statistics for anyone walking into the lab.
Every time we're talking about our events and I'm looking dead that way, it's
Yeah.
always because I'm looking at that whiteboard.
Yeah.
Look over, look, you can see where we are.
Yeah. So this is where we do the podcast. This is the sort of awards area. And so, we just kind of take it over every Friday or Thursday.
We do it because the mural is very nice.
Yeah, this is very cool. I don't know who painted this. This was a while ago.
Hiller did, I believe.
Oh, cool. Okay,
Let's
so
go to the 3D printer room. And the white
yes,
set.
so this is right here. This is the white team area. So we have the FTC field here, and then we have the cart with the robot on it. And then these boxes have like various miscellaneous parts as well as old robots and stuff like that. In here is the printer room, which has 4 of these printers, Ender 3 printers, and then 1 Ender 3 Max, I believe it's called.
Something like that.
Yeah. And then we also have over here the glow forge, which is good for cutting or engraving wood, acrylic, vinyl. We mostly use it for vinyl. And then the wall of filament over here. And yeah, and there's a couple of diagrams over there and some CADing tools in this shelf here.
Let's go to the programming area.
Yes. Right here is the programming area.
That would be right there.
That would be right there, yeah.
And the 3D printer room's right there.
Yes. Yeah. So this programming area is great for, this is where we had our programming meeting on Thursday. This is great for doing pair programming and doing like stand-up meetings because it has this sort of U shape with the TV on the back.
2 whiteboards.
And the 2 whiteboards, yes. And
also,
if
the
you
engineering classes meet here.
yes, and if you take a look over here, you can see these 4 April tags, and they actually spell out 4930, which is pretty cool.
They do?
Yes.
I don't know that.
Yeah, that's tag ID 4, ID 9, ID 3, and ID 0.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
Let's go over to the FLL area.
Yes, this is the FLL area, so we've got a nice shot of all of our masterpiece fields. That's the storage with various Lego components, robots, iPads.
The green team area.
Yeah. Over here, this is the green team pits with more of the same boxes and the cart with the robots, and then you have the round tables. This is where FLL usually meets, so that's pretty fun.
That's where FLL meets, down at those round tables.
Yeah.
Let's head into the shop.
Yes, this is the threshold, as I like to call it. This taped off area is where you have to put on your safety glasses.
All the other safety equipment is up on that shelf. That
Right here,
right?
yeah. So you got safety, first aid kits, hair ties, noise protection, extra safety glasses, and battery spill kits, and all of that. You have pockets for the safety glasses, and you have some more over here as well, and you have fire extinguisher and wet wipes and all that good stuff for the safety.
Let's head to the cage.
You want to do the cage first? All right. So this metal structure is the cage. This is where all the like heavy machinery is, which is why it has the sliding door with the lock, because whenever there isn't an adult in the room, that is locked. So over here we have the recycling bins for wood, polycarb, and metal, and then we have the tool charging station over here. And then if we spin around, we have the table saw and the sawing table. And then moving over here, we have next to the wall a bandsaw and a belt sander.
The router table.
The router table. This is where all of our polycarb gets cut. We have
the drill press, which never gets broken.
No, never. And we have a little workbench here with a clamp and what is that thing that says number 2? I can't remember what it's called.
What? The arbor press?
Yeah, that. And then we just have some material here, wood and polycarb.
If you look up behind the next to the arbor press up against the cage, that is actually a quarter, or maybe it's a half of the balance beam from last year.
Yeah, so we
the
use
endgame
that.
climb.
We use that to test our balancing, which is great because we can do all sorts of woodwork in here, and that thing does actually tilt and everything.
It's the full thing.
Yeah, so that's great.
Doesn't have the lights.
Over here are the 4 tables that we talked about. This is where we were sorting screws.
You can see 2 rocket spots in that frame. The rocket spot from Rapid React, and then the rocket spot from last year.
Yes. So these green and white tables are used for FTC when their season's happening, and then when FRC starts, all 4 of these tables are used for FRC. So that the black table is mainly used for pneumatics and sometimes assembling gears. These 2 are mostly used for just general assembly, and then the yellow table over here is for electronics.
That whole corner is for electronics.
This table has been cut off and it's glowing. That's odd. Anyways, so yeah, you can see some electronics testing here. You've got a sort of electronics loop, and all the shelves here are just for various power distribution and other sensors and everything.
Those 2 big standing whiteboards, not the ones on the doors. Those are normally the schedule.
Yes, which
is up now.
Yes. We did that on Thursday, or before Thursday.
We did that Thursday.
This wall is for oh wow. Oh, I'm moving. I didn't want that. Go back. This wall is for storage. So this one with the whiteboards, these slide open, and this is the main FTC area. So everything from control hubs to servos to motors to sensors are in labeled boxes in there. And similarly, here you have the FRC overflow. So there's boxes of screws, ball bearings, and other various things. And then you can see over there's extrusions and rods and stuff. Each one of these tables is equipped with a meter stick, a roll of paper towels, and a dustpan, which is good for making sure that it's clean and kept tidy. And I think that's it.
So, if you are interested for exploring our lab in 3D, in a Google Maps style kind of thing for yourself, head on over to our website. It's linked in the description, I think.
Yep, electricmayhemrobotics.com, one word.
Scroll down to the bottom of the first page and click on
Yes.
Lab.
And really cool.
Lab.
If you go to the bottom left here, you can see View Dollhouse, and if you click that, there is a full 3D scanned and labeled map of everything that we've gone over right now. So you can see the 3D printer room, FLL fields, all the tables and everything, and it's great. It's a little wonky because we started scanning in the awards hallway, and then as we went into the FRC area, kind of got a little bit weird, but it should give you a cool overview of how everything looks. And it's all fully navigatable in 3D. So yeah, that's the website. That's the fun stuff that we're doing with that. And I'm going to transition back to the main cam.
I'm gonna close the 3D down because it's fun to explore.
Yeah.
And I'm down here every day, and I know what it looks like.
Yeah. So for FTC, because we always have to cover FTC. It's become tradition.
It's down here in the competition in the script. Competitions are rapidly approaching.
They are
So
rapidly
shout
approaching. They are rapidly approaching.
Rapidly approaches.
Yes.
December 17th, a month from today.
Yes.
Wow.
Really. That's quite close. Anyways.
That's a lot closer than I thought.
I never really, Anyways. So one development in FTC is that we've recently gained access to the FTC machine learning tool set, which will allow us to use TensorFlow and everything to do computer vision for April tags, object detection, and all that good stuff, which means we will have some nice autos, and we will have a way to calibrate our odometry system using the April tags periodically, which is fun. We also did, I don't think we talked about this before, but we did your first climb test for the green bot. Do you want to talk about how that went?
The green team successfully climbed. It took 35 seconds, so we rebuilt the arm.
And what did you change?
So originally we were using the Studica linear actuators. We've talked about that before. We determined them not viable. So then we switched to the Go Builder linear actuators, and we picked the highest torque version of those actuators, which take a full 30 seconds to go in and out, which is all of endgame, which is not what we want. So we have changed the arm. We'll talk about this more once the arm is actually done. But we have changed the arm to a chain-driven linear slide system that will be super fast and super good for climbing. Plane shooters.
Plane shooters,
Both
yes.
teams have been designing plane. I can only speak for really green team, but I know both teams have designing plane shooters, which is the other half of endgame.
Yeah, I believe it's they're quite similar. It's the band and the servo.
They're very similar. I feel like a lot of the plane shooters this year are going to be very similar. It's just going to be surgical tubing or rubber band on a servo.
Well, like
that just shoots
some
a
people
plane.
could do active technically, like with the counter-rotating wheels and like the baseball serving like type.
True,
of...
you could do a pitching machine. I feel like that's going to be maybe too powerful and maybe not as maybe will destroy your planes a little bit. So I feel like overall people might converge on the rubber band design, because also then you have to use two motors or at least one motor.
At least, yeah.
At least one motor for your pitching machine, which is not normally good. But the plane shooters are coming along well. We still can't talk to you about what the planes are, because we haven't released the reveal video yet. And then we can talk about all the physics that went into it.
Yes.
So much physics.
Yes.
So at times like these, I'm happy we have a physics teacher as our head mentor. Anyway.
And a physics teacher as our FRC mentor.
2 physics teachers.
Fun.
Anyway, that's the end of the script, and I need to get on a plane soon. So, thank you all for coming to this episode of the podcast. I feel like I haven't been funny enough this episode. We need to make this more funny before we go.